Thank you so much, sir, on this Guru Purnima. Again, hearing from you as a guru, it's been excellent because you were doing my genetic brain profiling one more time, and it's really good to hear from you on this auspicious day. Again, putting into my head all the power that I have got. And today, I would like to share my story, and if this can inspire somebody and make a change in their life, I'll be very, very happy because I've got so much from this MiDNA Global, and this is one small share that I would like to give out to the world or to MiDNA Global. So again, good afternoon to all of you. You can see, so X expressed, right? So I'm a reverse, and only after coming to genetic brain profiling, only after coming to Ratinam sir, I understood how beautiful it is to be a reverse personality or to be a X. I will tell more about how X got expressed in the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. I also have time for question answer session because a lot of time everybody's got talking about what is reverse, what will X do in the group, and most of the time I don't come and intervene. So today I thought I'll give that time for people to ask questions to X. Okay, so my X is expressed in my work, in my family, and everything in between. And trust me, that's such a liberating feeling after knowing that yes, you are a reverse personality. And I really thank God that I've been blessed so special with this reverse personality, and that's how I'm able to do whatever I want to do. So let's see. So this is my self-discovery session, and it's going to go on a retro mode. This is a surprise for every one of you here. And it's also a pride for me that I have this report with me because this is the first report I took with MiDNA Global, and you can see it is dated 2016 April 9th. So I could say my life changed that day. My self-discovery started. So this is a 4-page report. I wanted to share this report with you and talk about it because this is the report that changed my life. I had 2-3 reports after that, but I still have so much value to this report. So let me talk about what I learned from this report today. It's very difficult for me to only keep talking, not interacting, but I will do my best. Okay, so let me introduce myself. Sir told a lot of things about me. I'm Dhivya Kannan, and I'm the founder of Me Nurturing Institute, where I help people unleash the limitless self. I'm also a life coach on a mission to help people understand their potential and guide them reach to where they want to go in life from where they are now. So this is what I do in life coaching. As I keep talking today, is going to be like a desert. I'm going to talk about myself. So it feels really good, 1 hour dedicated to talking about myself, because a lot of times you don't get to do that as a trainer. It is all about what I can give to other people. Today it's giving out about me. Okay, so let's start with my story. My story before and after the real discovery. Yes, it happened. The real discovery happened on April 2016. Vidula is a very good friend of mine from a previous organization. So we were having a conversation, must be 6 months before April, and over lunch, she was telling me something that her genetic brain profiling also said. I was complimenting her for something. Then she told me, this is what my genetic brain profiling also told her. And that one word, I became too curious. And then I kept calling her, I kept asking her, can you do that? I really want to experience that. I did not know it involves finger scanning. I did not know anything about it, but the name itself was too catchy and I was very curious. So it happened after 6 months that she came to Chennai. Her mom's place is here, and I should thank Vidula and Pramod that they have introduced me to genetic brain profiling and to Mr. Ratnaswamy. So I went to Vidula and we did the scan. We actually went to do it for my children. So in the process, I was always curious, but I thought, okay, it's an extra cost. Why should we invest on ourselves? But then I really was like intrigued because it was finger scanning and all that. It all looked so fancy for me. So that childlike enthusiasm in me, and then I was pestering my husband that let's do it for all of us. We did it, and they gave us a printout. I still have the printout with me, but she did not have the time to do the reporting. Like she did not have the time to counsel. So she said, the next weekend she will come back. They live in Krishnagiri. So she said the next weekend when she comes back, she will do the assessment for us. We had the report and I came home. I put all the 4 reports on the table, and there is also this MiDNA attachment, right? So I took it and I started counseling all the people in the house. And I started telling, you are this, you know, you can do in this better, that better. And when we went back to Vidula, somewhere whatever I said was coinciding. I did not know the X factor in me, but otherwise, most of the things, even for Nikhil has X, my son, elder son. So those things I was not able to, but predominantly I was able to get the report. So as they were talking to me about the report, I felt too good. And then the first thing I asked her was, if you don't mind, can I also be a part of this organization? She gladly welcomed me. She did not have any inhibition. She shared the opportunity with me. And June 2016, one Saturday and Sunday, me and my husband, we traveled to Coimbatore, and that was the best trip that we had taken in our life. One journey that we took, like both of us traveled alone, and that was one nice thing, because once it came from the Guru's mouth himself. So Mr. Ratinaswamy, he did the reporting for us, and we were really concerned about my son, and he gave us good motivation that he will do this, that. So for a paranoid parent, hearing that he will ultimately grow to be good and comparing him to me made a lot of sense. You wouldn't believe how much of happiness I got, because at that point of time I was fully closed, I was fully paranoid, because a lot of things were happening. So let me tell you what happened before June. So I'm born in a small town in Tamil Nadu. It's called Virudhunagar. So it's a very conservative town. I've been studying only in a girls' school and girls' college throughout my life, and I've written in a lot of blogs also how conservative I was in my upbringing. And whatever the parents decided, we got to do. We did not have to think anything for ourselves. But my parents were a little different. They did not push anything on us. They were very open, but I did not take any liberty from them as well. So life went on so well. I got married when I was 19, which was least expected, because my mom was an income tax officer, and me getting married even before getting graduated was a big shock for me. So I had a loving husband. He was very supportive, but they are again very conservative people from down south. So the family started, and as usual, the expectation of a daughter-in-law to do the household chores and have children, raise them, all that came on me, and I took it upon myself so gladly, and I was doing 100% to whatever I was doing. But was I happy with it? That's a question mark. No, I wasn't so happy with it, because it was the same mundane task of cooking, cleaning, taking care of children. There's no thrill in life. There was no nothing new. Even then, after that, I finished my MA and MPhil in English literature. I did my BA English literature in Lady Doe College, Madurai. I was a residential student there. I was on the top of my education. I was like getting very good grades, and the final semester I was not able to complete. So that was always a pain in my heart. So Kannan was very kind enough, and he motivated me to finish my MA and MPhil. I remember for the MPhil exam, when I used to take my Vespa out, I'll tell him that I will go roam around somewhere. I will never go and give my examination. But he insisted that this MPhil will somehow help me. He was very patient enough to take the syllabus, the 5-year question paper, and then tell me, at least read these part and go, you will be able to write. So a supportive husband, a supportive parents, sibling, all that was supporting. But as Sir said, the confusion was only inside the mind. Outside, my life was crystal clear, and my friends used to call me like I'm a Glasgow baby, because I was pampered so much and I was loved so much. But there was always this confusion in my mind. When all the children in my school, they used to say, we will get married as soon as we finish our 12th standard. I was the only one who will say, I will be this, I will be that. And my dreaming had no end. I wanted to be a air hostess. I wanted to be an IPS officer. I wanted to be a chef. So what not? I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be a psychologist. But all that, and I wanted to be a doctor. My parents denied it, because they were preparing me for a homemaker. That I understood later only. So life happened. It just happened suddenly that I was not able to take it. It was like a tsunami or a huge tide that took over that childlike freedom in me, right? So much of responsibility came into my life. I was not matured enough to handle that, but I was not also rebellious. So outside, I was not rebellious. I was adapting to everybody's need and all that. But internally, something was hurting until the time I went to Coimbatore and I found that, okay, whatever is happening inside my head is not what I am making it to be. That is how God has blessed me with. So if I can take it as a blessing, then I can create a blessing for myself. If I have to take it as a curse, then my life is going to become a curse. So again and again, when I went into MiDNA, and I also got into a lot of other training sessions where I started understanding about myself. Is that is the journey that I'm going to share with you. So that day, June 2016 in Coimbatore, I found my core. And now it's 4 years now. And I can't believe it's just 4 years, because the life before that, I've actually forgotten, because I've got new energy and it's a new me from 2016 onwards, and there's no turning back. And people who are close to me will understand that I had a major shift in my life in the last 2 years. So it was happening. So even sir used to tell me, last 2 years you have changed so much. That last 2 years change is visible because the previous 2 years I was working on it. I was working on my mental understanding, awareness and all that. So let's see what happened next. So this is my story. It was not a short story, but then it's done now. So how I used to feel. This is typically how I used to feel, the core X factor. So I have a reverse in my, where do I have? Okay, I have it in my ring finger.
Right temporal.
Right temporal, yes. So I always used to wear a diamond ring here. Now that we are indoors and doing all the washing I've taken, I put a diamond ring for this temporal finger, because that is what is making me special and unique. Okay, so the X factor, just like this brown egg, I always used to feel, why is that I am thinking different? Even in a classroom setup, if you see, they used to have one terminology for me, don't pour cold water. I still remember Meenakshi, who is a topper in my class, will always keep using this sentence on me, because every time the physics teacher is talking or every time there is a debate going on, I will be the only one thinking different and giving in different suggestion which nobody will agree. And she will keep telling me, don't pour cold water, which means like, why don't you go with the flow? And I always used to wonder why these people are not able to realize this is what it is. And I remember my physics teacher getting so annoyed with me. As sir rightly said, my school days had not been that good, great, but I had an understanding parent. So they never pressurized me. Before I tell about the physics teacher in my 11th standard, let me tell about my LKG, UKG teacher. So I had Kalpana ma'am and Mary ma'am, and we used to have this poetry class. Okay, so poetry class, they'll bring a transistor and they'll put the tape recorder in that, and Mary had a little lamp. The only rhyme that I knew was little bit of twinkle twinkle little star. Okay, I've not told this secret anywhere else. So at that stage, I was very, very bad in understanding. Maybe this is something to do with the auditory. That rhythm rhyming did not come to me. I cannot remember things. I had a very poor memory. And I used to see all of them singing. And for me, it does not come. I cannot remember any of the poems. So I used to struggle so much. But my parents were very, very, they never expected so much out of me. They only wanted me to be happy. That was the only thing they wanted me to. They never cared about how much marks I got. And my dad was always comparing me to myself only. He will say like, okay, this time you have got 70%. Last time you have got 69%. Well done, super. And they'll give me a treat. And that is the best thing that happened to me, because being an ex, if at all they were not very like motivating, or they were not understanding, then my life would have been really different. So I always had unique ideas as a child. I used to dream a lot, and I used to keep talking about so much of things that people don't understand. And I always loved freedom. And my mom being a working woman, my dad was also working, right? So I used to be at home alone all the time, and I liked being alone. And right from my childhood, like from second standard, I started cycling to school. And then from fourth standard, fifth standard, I started riding my two-wheeler, that too in a national highways. My father always gave me the freedom, and he gave me the responsibility also. And that freedom is what I loved. And maybe after getting married, because I did not have that freedom of movement, freedom of putting in my ideas, maybe that is where I felt a little claustrophobic, I would say. So I will tell you, true freedom for me is understanding who I am. That day I became so free, because this brown egg is also an egg. That was the realization I had. I'll tell you about my physics teacher. My physics teacher used to have a tough time with me, because physics and me, we don't get together well at all. I was a very good biology student. Physics, she used to tell me like, this is anti-clockwise, and I will be the only one standing up, showing my watch and telling, look at this, the clock is going like this. And she used to teach electric circuits in how electricity travels. And she used to put that chalk piece so hard on the blackboard, and the chalk piece will break. She will throw the chalk piece, because she'll get so frustrated she will not be able to teach me. I never got it, and I still don't get it. So metaphysics, I get it, but not the other things. So relativity of time and all that, you come and talk to me, I will talk so much, but I cannot talk about how clockwise is, anti-clockwise is. Now I know what I'm special in. And so that's how my school days were. I was not the best of the student, but from 9th standard, I started enjoying learning. I challenged myself that why can't I learn, and I started learning. And in 11th and 12th standard, I fared well. And in 10th standard, I wanted to be a doctor, and that's the reason I was studying so hard. But then my parents said, for a woman, doctor is not a good choice. So I had to accept their choice also. But from 11th, 12th standard, I started learning so well. I started taking part in extracurricular activities. I pushed myself to it. There'll be only two students. One of the student is Dina Priya, who's also part of our network, and myself. We both only will go for any competition, and she'll bag the first prize, and anonymously I will get the second prize. So I was very happy. That was motivating for me also. So what happened after that? I came to MiDNA, right? So I had two children, Nikhil and Nathan, beautiful children. I was blessed. But then again, seemingly beautiful life, but internal world was always conflicting, because I am a born Gemini. So I always felt that this duality is in me, because I'm a Gemini, two different personalities into one. When I was believing in that, when I came to MiDNA Global, and Ratna Swami sir also said the same, I'm 80% effective. So whenever people are telling me something, I don't deny it. I do it. It's very difficult for me to say no. So I agree, and I also go with people's feeling. I don't want to hurt anybody. So I've never voiced anything against my parents, and my parents keep telling they're very fortunate to have me. So I too remember I've never like typical ex people that we always discuss, that they will be rebellious, they don't go with the flow. No, I just went with the flow. I just listened to whatever my dad and mom said. Taking English literature was again my father's choice. He said, being a literature student, you will enjoy life, you will know life, so take it, because anyways we don't want you to work after getting married. So why don't you enjoy your college days, do English literature. I did not know what English literature will have, because we've only studied English as a subject in school, right? So English literature was something different, but I did enjoy. And that college again gave a lot of freedom to me to explore and read. I became a ferocious reader of psychology, especially. Okay, so I was effective. And sir also said I'm reverse. I did not get it. Then, if I can see now, I was a Gemini, and Gemini also has the extreme personalities. Here I see another extreme where one is effective, which wants to obey to everyone, and there is a reverse here, which does not want to go with the flow. And that turmoil was constantly going on in my head, and it started showing on my body, because once that conflict is not resolved inside your head, then it starts showing in your body. Body and mind are the same, right? So internal pain also inflicts a lot of pain in the body. I was also getting sick, and I was not able to move out of bed with traction and all that, because stress comes in and stays in your neck, back, spine, and in your lungs, in your stomach, everywhere you name it, and the stress can go and sit there. And maybe that's the reason I do stress management sessions so effectively now. I have experienced the whole of stress and the pain that comes with it, physical and mental. So the duality guarantee sir had given, that gave me so much of trust in this report, because he's not seen me. Even Pramod had told me that, Vidula had told me that you have got something special. And in the beginning, I was not able to believe, did I have something special? And I will tell you, my report also says that I am not self-smart. So when people tell me I'm special, I have so much of ability, I was never able to believe in myself. But after going through all this genetic brain profiling and being in Sir's classroom learning and also doing counseling to various other people, every time I started counseling people, I had a higher understanding about myself too. Okay. So what did I come to know after coming to genetic brain profiling? So MiDNA told me what makes me who I am. So the report was so accurate that I fell in love with that. So my report had, so converging sir was telling in the right brain, but predominantly I'm a left brain person, and the kinesthetics is high. That's where I feel everything. Everything, even a move of the eyebrow of people, I feel it. Okay. So it's like, if it is that kind of a feeling, the internal turmoil going on inside, that is where my body was feeling the pain, I guess. So I'm highly kinesthetic. That is what sir said. And fast processing, my brain speed is fast on both sides. And I'm a goal oriented person, word smart. So how this left brain? So I was always looking for logic. I was left brain with the report. That was an added advantage that I learned about myself from the profile. Because yes, because I studied English literature, people think that I'm only a dreamer. No, I also see logic. I also see procedure on how it can happen. And I have certain logic for which I have conviction and I can prove to people. Because my reverse gives me a lot of new ideas. My left brain also helps me to put it in place. Even as a parent, I used to be a very creative parent, but I will have methodology for everything. I had a reverse in the family. My elder son was a reverse. So all this methodology did not work with him, and it started backfiring. So that is where more than love, the methodology was happening. I'll talk to you about kinesthetics. So in school, I was telling you that I was not very studious, but I was too good in sports. And every time you can see me on the ground, and my biggest ambition in my school days used to be, I need to be that holding that championship trophy for the year. That never happened, but every time I used to think I need to hold that championship trophy. I used to cycle 4 kilometers to school, even when I was in class 3, 4, 5, and it was a national highway. Being a girl, I used to have a small bicycle and I ride to school. And I was kinesthetically so good. I was an athlete, and I also played shuttle badminton. Because it was a conservative town, they never let us go and play outside the school. So we did not have tournaments like that. Maybe if we had, I would have also excelled in that. And fast processing, yes, this is something that is very true. If people will talk slowly with me, I really get bored. And if when they start talking, I understand what is coming, and I will draw a conclusion that this is what they mean to say. So I don't have patience for watching movies or reading books that don't interest me. The first few pages, if that doesn't interest me, I will not go through it. And if it is interesting, fatafat I'll finish. Even if it is a series, I need to see till the end. 2 days without food, without anything, I can sit. Even if it is a book, it's the same. I don't eat, I don't cook, I finish a book. So with ideas also, concepts also, if people are telling me certain things, I get it so fast. But if it is being repeated again and again, it is again, I have an auditory reverse. So if people have to repeat it again and again, I get really annoyed. You know, like when I was in my marketing days, I used to Google and see how to not yawn in a meeting. The meeting will be happening there. I'll be Googling and finding how to not yawn, because the same thing goes on and on and on. I cannot sit. So that is how it is, and that I understood. And I'm a goal oriented person. So too much of goal oriented, and D and I in disc personality. So as a homemaker, if you have to take me, I did not have any big goals other than keeping the inside of the four walls good and happy, which was like a cakewalk for me. I'll finish it in no time. I will cook in half an hour. I'll clean the house and do everything in 1 hour. Then what do I do? There was one big void. I wanted to do something, but what to do? Nothing at all. And that cocoon stage, maybe 7 years of being a homemaker, pushed me to doing what I am doing now, a hyperactive child. Good that we did not have assessment in those days. If that was done, I should have been a hyperactive child only. And word smartness, yes. Sir also told me I'm very good with words, and he said it's a blessing for me that I've gone into literature. He was asking me, how did I get into literature? I was not that smart. So my dad said I went into English literature. But then in English literature, I used to score so well, and the maximum marks used to be given to me. And my friends who used to study from notes, like the guide, I never used guide. Okay, I always like enjoying reading the whole text. So even if it is 5-6 Shakespeare play for the exam, I will sit the previous night and I will do fast reading of all the 6 plays, unabridged versions. And I like doing that. And I write on my own, which is very creative. And I used to get the top marks. And my friends used to come and ask me, can you give me your essay? And I used to tell them, I'm sorry, I don't have an essay. And you know, that made them think that I throw attitudes. But I used to tell them, no, it is like only in the exam hall I get the ideas and I write it. And that's how nobody used to gel with me. I'm a hostelate, so I had friends in hostel, but not in my classroom, because everybody thought I had an attitude, high attitude, that I don't want to help. But being a reverse, now I know why that happened. I cannot write something and give. Even today, if I'm writing a blog, sometimes I scribble in a notepad. Before I can type it, it will be a totally different content when I type it. I cannot copyright the same thing again. So they did not understand that. So as a word smart, being a literature student, and I had access to one of the amazing libraries. Lady Doe College had a good library. And being a hostelate, I spent most of my time in the library. I'll go an English literature section, and next to it was psychology section. My dad, I wanted to do psychology. My dad said, I will be a half mental before I finish psychology. So he did not let me do it. So what happened, I used to borrow books from the psychology racks, and I used to read it. And whatever I did in my college days, and I used to attend a lot of personality development. And my friends used to tease me, see, there are cooking classes happening in the college, toy making, jewelry making. Why don't you come to girly things? Why should you go to this personality development where hardly few children used to be there? And I used to be there, like part 4 activities, after college activities. And I always used to enroll in personality development. And that's where I started learning a lot of things like time management. And whatever I learned there, I still use it in my training sessions. So these are the 5 top factors that I learned in the first meeting with sir, and which I also agreed. So now let's see my report together. This is a retro report, and many of you would not have seen this report. So let's see. So this is a 4-page report, and that cost $9.99 then, but that $9.99 changed my life. Okay, so here we have, I'm not going through the whole report. It's just for you to see, and then I will tell you what really caught my attention. My love for biology. If you see here, biology tops more than the art. I wanted to be a doctor, and from 10th standard, 9th standard onwards, I started studying so well. I have my friend Rati, who is a dermatologist here in Chennai. She's a successful dermatologist here. So we went and met her 5 months back. And then she was telling my husband also, you know what, she used to motivate me, and we used to study together to become a doctor. And I was telling, see, I did not become, and she was telling, somewhere you are also helping people, don't feel bad. But we both were doing joint study that we will become doctors. She became one, but I did not, because my parents thought women cannot balance out life and work being in a profession that's dedicated to humanity. So to do justice, they thought, let me not go there. So my love for biology was shown here, and I'm a random learner. Sir also told in his introduction that I'm a random learner to the core. So today, if you will come and sit with me and talk to me of any procedure from top to bottom, I will shut myself. Maybe I will start dreaming, because for me, okay, this is what it is. You tell me in 1 or 2 words, I get it. I cannot sit and go through the nitty-gritties of it. Even reading manuals and all that, I just will go through it roughly, and I'll get the idea and I'll do it. If I have to see, this is where again there was a conflict with my children, because I am a random learner. My children were sequential learner. I was not able to give it in a sequential flow. I was a kinesthetic person. My children were different. One is a auditory, one is visual. I'm a kinesthetic. For me, everything needs to be do and learn of kind of learning. So I used to do all the experiments at home. And Kannan used to say, why do you have to waste so much time? Why don't you teach the syllabus? For me, it's like, no, no, no. Only when you do it and show it, they can understand better. And I used to spend so much time like that, then get frustrated, and then become like, as sir said, there is one face that nobody has seen. I used to show that face. Not anymore, sir. Now I'm calm. Okay. So being a kinesthetic person, I was also not able to sit in one place. That was a biggest challenge. So I was a very good sports person in school. In college, I used to wake up early morning, 4:30. I used to go for jogging. I used to be active. I was an all-rounder in college. I will never sit in one place. But here at home, I was supposed to sit for 3-4 hours in the evening and teach children. I was a school coordinator then, but then there also you get to roam around. You don't have to sit in one place. But here with my children, Nikhil this side, Nitin this side, and I will be sitting in the middle. And as time goes by, I will lose my cool. You know, I used to become the Chandramukhi version. And when Kannan comes from the office, I will be in that full Chandramukhi mood, and it was spoiling our family as such. But once I understood this report, we did a lot of changes, which I will discuss later on. Okay, so I also understood I'm a left brain person, and it is fast and effective. So being a left brainer, I also want logic. Being a reverse, I also want creativity, and both are fast. So for me, it's like, come on, let's do it now. My husband is very, very calm and composed, whereas I am like that mustard, always going here, there. And for me, if people can't come up with my speed, I get frustrated. And again, 3 of them are not fast brain, and I am a fast brain, so it was conflicting. But the good news is I was effective. The good news is only for the people around me. It is a good news because I went with the flow, but that was not a good news for me. But now I have also made it as a positive thing, because I'm able to learn a lot of things even in this age. Because I'm effective, I can learn from anybody. If I see worth in that person, I bow down to them. And I have to wish sir today Buddha Purnima. Thank you, sir. This is such an opportunity to talk on a Buddha Purnima about what I've learned from you. And what I'm very independent. You can see in this report, how much is my independence? 1.3. And I was supposed to stay indoors all the time. How can that be possible? That was again adding so much stress to me. And look at my enthusiasm, that's also 1.3. So I'm a very enthusiastic and an independent person. But here I'm a dependent. I wrote in one of my blogs, you know, for me, getting my passport stamped as dependent, that was a pain. I don't know how many of the women feel that, but that was a pain for me. Kannan used to tell me, see, I've taken you to Canada, I've taken you to US, UK and all that. I used to tell him I was your dependent. I did not go by my effort. I just came because I'm your wife. So all those was having a problem. And D and I, again, I'm very direct with people. I'm able to influence people. This is a nice revelation that I had after the report, that, okay, I'm able to do something for the people, right? So I thought, okay, let me start doing. Even at that point, when I saw this report, I know that I'm a workaholic. I was with Tupperware, and I had 1,500 women team, and I was able to influence those people into getting into the market and getting into selling and all that. And I used to work so much and physically roaming around in my Vespa all the time. I was enjoying all that. But that thing came in when I had to sit and teach my children. Okay, so that I was not able to do properly. Okay, then what else did I see? I'm a doer. So you tell me something, I will not do. I think something, I do it. Okay, there is a difference. So if somebody is coming and telling me, do this, do this, do this, no, I don't do it. But if I think of something, then that minute I will sit and I'll start doing. I will never procrastinate things that I want to do. And I'm high on word smart. That's what the report said. I'm low on self smart. This is where the key is. I was low on self smart. So having so much of potential, I never understood that I had potential. I always considered myself to be dumb because my brother was very studious. I was not very studious. So there was nothing to be studious. As a girl, this is what is expected. Nobody talked about my IQ, but my parents always said that I was an intelligent kid. I can become an IPS officer because I was very good in sports. I was tall and with current affairs and all that, I was very good in. So my parents used to say, if I write that those examinations, I will clear. But suddenly they thought that getting married was the best choice for me. And I was an interactive learner. Yes, if I can teach people, then I learn a lot. If I can have a conversation with high thinkers, that is what I love doing. I like having conversation with people who have high value of thinking. I'm not a person for small talks. That does not help me, or I don't like it. So interacting with people like that, I had had very good friendships with people where I have learned a lot of things by interacting. I still do it. And then it also said human resource is very good for me as a profession, or training and mentoring. So with this, the report got over. But with that, my awareness started kicking in. I was a successful executive manager of Tupperware. I was making enough money. As everybody can see, outside world was too good, but inside was not. But after this awareness, my self-smart started developing well. Until that time, I did not actually accept that I had the potential. Okay. But when somebody showed me, maybe the left brain wanted a report like this where it is substantiated and said that, okay, you're good at this, good at that. And that's where my awareness and my self-confidence had a bloom. It was like magic happened. So what happened that with the awareness, nothing can be done without the action being taken. So with awareness, little bit of changes started happening in my life, which I would like to share with you. Not now, with the little changes that became an incremental change, and now it's like changed totally. So Dhivya Kannan before 4 years and Dhivya Kannan now is a different species altogether. So how did life change? So there was a shift in my work. I was into sales and marketing in Tupperware. From there, I got into training and coaching because my report also said training and coaching, training and mentoring is a very good field for me. And I was a very good people influencer. So I thought, okay, that's nice. Let's do it. And then the family understanding, the change in family dynamics, entire change, shift in everything. Kannan also understood that I'm a special breed and Nikhil is also a special breed. So then the cognitive personality in Kannan also had an understanding that, okay, this is what we can do. And sir beautifully explained it to him, so that cognitive people really have to have the conviction in certain things to believe. So he also got the belief, and that's when he took over the studies of the children. So he is a very knowledgeable person from MIT, Chennai. And I always said I have a smaller brain. He's got a bigger brain. I used to call him my calculator when I got married. Whatever I tell him, the calculation used to happen in the mind itself. For me, maths is not a favorite subject because of the teacher. So he took over taking care of the children and their education. And we also outsourced Nikhil's education to another tutor. So I completely I weaned myself out of teaching children school subjects. So that is when I became their mother for the first time. Until that time, I was a school teacher kind, only torturing them. But once I left that responsibility, I became a more loving person towards them, more of a friend, and Kannan took that tough job of making them study. And somewhere Kannan and the kids have the same kind of personality. So somewhere they will fight, but then again they will sit together, learn and do something. And Nikhil has amazingly turned out to be a very good student in college now. He's doing his food science and technology in Rajalakshmi Engineering College, and Nitin is in class 12. And all that effort, as sir said, my pillar of support is Kannan. Kannan has been taking the whole of the responsibility of taking care of the children's education, I was taking care of myself. Okay, whatever I lost in those 7 years, he's given it back, and I started taking care of myself and the house also. I outsourced things I cannot do. I hired a cook. 3.5 years I have a cook. So I hired a cook because I am not able to do things that needs repetition. I want newness every day. I want that, what to say, that spark every day to do something creative, to do something new. If it is mundane task, no, I don't want to do it. So when Kannan also understood I'm healing mentally and physically with that process, we hired a cook for the house, and then we also hired a tutor for Nikhil, and Kannan also started teaching them. I became comparatively free. I started focusing on my own development, which I will tell you. So what did I do? My personality or personal change from confusion, it's come now to mindfulness. So from this, I also met in the next session of GBP or MiDNA Global, I met Velpari Nathesan, and from him I started learning NLP. Then I started practicing NLP for myself, which really helped me. Then I did my master practitioner of mindfulness in Udemy. I also finished my cognitive behavior therapy in Udemy. All this took too many hours in a day, but it's like a cocoon. I sat through it, I studied, and I applied it in my life. I'm a person that if I cannot do it, I cannot tell it to other people. I don't know if that is what influential people do. I practice whatever I talk. So all this I did it on myself and worked on myself so much. I started traveling and I started taking regular trekkings, and I started working on my body. I joined Zumba. Zumba was again one mind-blowing thing that happened in my life, that I started believing in myself, because I used to say I have two left foot. But after Zumba, I started shedding my inhibitions, and then I started regularly exercising. Now these days, I wake up at 4:45. I do my yoga, I do my meditation, and I also do my artwork where I touch the soul. Okay, and I started blogging. I started my YouTube channel. All of this happened in 4 years. And trust me, it all happened after the awareness. So this is where let me tell you the last slide. So this is where I found my life purpose. I started Me Nurturing Institute, and on a mission to help people to unleash their limitless potential. So the top thing that I do in Me Nurturing Institute is GBP. Then I do training on mindfulness, NLP, cognitive behavior therapy. I do counseling in that also. And then life coaching. I finished my life coaching certification with Afeen Khan. I spent a fortune with him. And now I'm also guiding CEO kind of people into life coaching. So you can see how much of a shift. As a homemaker, I was only doing a part-time kind of work in sales and marketing. People took it lightly, but I took it seriously and I was working. But when a slight awareness can come and I can work on myself, the 4 years has been so fruitful. I would say that fruitful in a way that this mindfulness and this confusion going from inside the head. You can ask me, am I earning in millions now? I would say, yes, very soon I will do that. But now I am earning where I can sustain myself. I can spend on all the luxuries that I want, like traveling and doing all that. I've also gotten into minimalism. See, this is the dress that I wore to MiDNA Nest. I have a picture with this. So I wore this because I wanted to get into that feeling. So I've got into minimalism where I'm not spending more money on clothes and all that, rather into learning and spending quality time with people and with nature. So my life changed completely, and I owe all that to genetic brain profiling for putting that thought in me and bringing this tremendous change, where my life purpose is also helping other people realize their life purpose. So that's all. Thank you so much for listening. As I promised, you can ask me anything related to